August. So make sure you want to manifest things fast, then make sure to leverage off this energy, this vortex that's happening right now. And I'm going to share with you.
All right. Good morning. Oh, crap. Good morning. Welcome. My name is Dark Bull Algo, and thanks for joining me on this Friday the 13th, August 13th, 2021. I am a smart money dark pool and block trade analyst, and welcome to my stream. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, you know the drill. For those of you that have not joined me before, I look at, I follow an algorithm that tracks large institutional hedge funds, smart money orders. It shows us what's happening in the market before the market reacts. It's the only predictive leading indicator out there that tracks the flow index. Now, with that being said, I'm going to go quickly through how my charts are set up. What you're seeing here is the FlowTrade backend. It is the tool that I use. Okay. Really quickly, if you see me drawing red lines, those red lines are regular block trades. If you see me draw a blue line, that is a dark pool block trade. If you see me drop a white line in there, no, it's not party time. It's a regular and a dark pool block trade so close together that we really couldn't segment them out. So it just shows that there's a lot of interest at that level. Okay. We've got a new a new setup for toss, and I haven't got rid of the bell sounds yet, so there may be some bell sounds and some other weird sounds. Sorry, I've got another screen over here. I'm just adjusting real quick. Didn't mean to not look at you, but yeah. So I will use yellow on the FlowTrade chart setup here to indicate any sort of support, resistance, key levels, directionals for the algorithm. Yeah, just things like that. So if you've got any requests, make sure you hit me up. I'm going to go ahead and say, hi, chat. Morning, chat. Welcome. I'm in a couple plays from yesterday. Yes, I bought the Wish dip, and I'm down about $40. I should have just waited till this morning to get it. But, you know, what can you do? It hit 6.5. I think it might rip, to be honest with you. At least give me my money back. If not, I may just hold on to the shares and start selling calls against them. So, if you've got a request, get it through to me now. If you don't, I'm going to grab some stuff that I'm interested in and see what we can do from there. Oh, AMD, you had such great potential to drop to 105. I didn't see this monthly. I got in about here. I might just get scratched out on that one unless it drops to 101. All right, AMD. The Russell. Oh, let's go through the market first and see what we can do about that. Let's go through the market, see what's going on with futures. Then we may look at some specific sectors, or we may just jump right into it. Amazon. What's up, Binky? Yeah, I'll check out Amazon. So if you've never played Amazon before, Amazon typically sells off on a Friday. It's been pretty consistent. I made a lot of trades on Amazon to the short side on Fridays, and they seem to work out really well. But we don't want to go into Friday with any bias, so let's just, we'll play the chart in front of us. And let's just get started with the futures, shall we? All right. You almost got me. Listen, before we get going, I need you to hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and share it with your friends, families, neighbors. Before we get into anything else, I have to say I am not a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence. None of this is recommendation. Options trading, stocks trading carry inherent risk, and none of this is financial advice. Don't do what I do. All right, that should make certain algorithms happy. All right, so looking at futures. Looks as if, though, kind of mixed in that the ES 4460 seems to be a pretty significant level. We went up, tip-tapped about 50 cents below it, came back down, found some support coming in at 44.5550, 44.555. Keep that in mind. That's going to be support level. From there, we're up about 3 points. Overall, we're up about 4 points overnight. The YM, which is, I think, probably has the greatest potential to really make some money on. Anyway, YM looks like it's trying to do a 1, 2, 3 reversal pattern, which is good. Previous highs 35470. We're on our way up towards that. NQ. What happened? Oh, we sold off, dipped back down to 15055. Currently, we're increasing. We're down about 5 points, which isn't that bad for the NQ. It can have literally 30-point candles. The Russell seems to be doing a nice little uptrending. It's making higher lows and higher highs, so we'll keep an eye on the Russell today. Gold, I don't know what happened here, but we hit a point and ripped, dipped, and ripping again. Okay. Oil, crude, kind of choppy, right? Just kind of choppy. I'll keep an eye on that. ZB, which is bonds. Looks like bonds are starting to sell off, which would make sense if gold's starting to go up. And the 6J. Well, higher lows, higher highs. Can't complain about that. All right, so overall, the market looks like it's going to chop again. Sorry to say. We got some choppiness going on. I've also got some Fibonacci levels here that I'll pull up in a moment. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. So we've got a request for McDonald's, Apple, Amazon, Melly, and LSPD. All right. I'm going to go ahead and jump in with the first request, which was Amazon. We've got Amazon. Then Sammy came in with the Melly and LSPD. And then Leonard came through with McDonald's, Mickey D's. Apple. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check out Apple. We got some puts on Apple. Let's just check this out. Amazon. All right, so Amazon looks pretty decent. Wow. Yeah, Amazon looks good. Nice call. Melly. And we'll wait for that one to load up. So I've got block trades set for the last 8 days on most of these, anywhere from 8 to 10 days. I think that's pretty decent. Not really seeing anything come through on Amazon. So price action's been consolidating. That binging sound is going to drive me bonkers. I got to get that figured out soon. 1 second. Bang, I'm still here waiting for sponsorship. If not, I'll just keep sending you money. Maybe they'll send me some coupons or something. All right. So Amazon, net buying since the 23rd, right? Currently, the Algo is trading with price action in an upward direction. We're seeing, this is a pretty significant angle. I like this angle, right? Pretty much indicating net buying, right? The Algo has a top here that I'd like it to break up and above. So we're going to keep an eye on this keep an eye on this area at the open. Look at this massive gap that Amazon's got. Anybody see that? Look at this ginormous gap that it's got to fill. It's beautiful. Beautiful gap coming up. Let's see, what else can we say about the Amazon? Ooh, I got the wrong color. It's alright though. So it's starting to, looks like it's starting to reverse. It's currently at previous lows, which is resistance. It is making higher lows and higher highs, right? Which is good. So a rising channel. Oh, I learned how to do this the other day, where I can tab between tabs. Shift tab. No. All right. Well, I'll figure it out at another time. We'll learn how to switch between tabs. DocuSign looking good. Amazon. All right. So I use, I don't know how that got all wactified, but I use a study that tracks MACD on multiple time frames. Yeah, I think my settings got thrown off here a little bit. Hold on 1 second. I got to make this a little larger. Come on, screen. Let's go. There we go. That looks good. Come on. So I use the multiple time frame MACD analysis as well. It shows me what's happening in the world from a multiple time frame. So this is Amazon. Starting on the left, I go from the monthly all the way down to the daily. And then on the right, I start at the 4 hour and move my way all the way down to the 2 minute. So 2 minutes about to cross over, which should pull the 5 up, which should help the 15. The 1 hour and the 4 hour are already positive and increasing. We would like to get this daily to curl back around, but it's pretty heavy on the primary time frames, right? Monthly, weekly, daily, 3-day, 2-day, right? Those are all pointed down. So we've got a lot of overhead pressure for a lot of intraday acceleration. So just keep that in mind as we're looking at things, right? Amazon, I'm taking a little bit of time on this Amazon one so that I can start burning through these last ones without having to explain every little thing, right? I should probably just do it before you watch my stream, watch this video type deal. Maybe I'll do that. All right, so Amazon on the daily, my right-hand side's the daily. So Amazon sold off all the way down to, looks like the 382 retracement of this high to this low, okay? Currently trading at -3 ATR and at the 200 SMA on the daily. That's pretty significant support. It takes a lot to get something through that. So looks like we're trying to retrace, excuse me. So we're at the 618 extension from this high to this low, I believe. I don't like having dual Fibonacci's on here. Anyway, it sold off, chopped around, sold off again into the 200 SMA. We've got a TTM squeeze that's looking like it's trying to slingshot its way back around. However, the daily MACD is still pointed down, but the histogram is neutral and increasing. Okay, so this is a doji, which indicates the sign of reversal. So last time we had a doji here, it sold off, right? Let's see if I can find another one. Doji here, and it reversed. So we got a doji. Looks like we're trying to make a move back to the upside. Higher lows, right? Higher highs. So this isn't an uptrend. I'd like to see it pull back to the mean, or at least the point of control for the highest volumes coming in at 334225, or 3345 is highest volume point of control. So point of control back as a magnet, pulling price action towards it. Okay. Price wants to revert to this white line, which is the mean 21-day EMA and the 50 SMA. So we're going to try to pull back up into this area. I don't know if we're going to get a break above 3,400 today. It can move, but I don't think it's going to move 100 points in this market, choppy market, right? Moving over here to the left-hand side of my screen, I'm just going to go ahead and throw a fib extension, or excuse me, fib retracement from this high to this low, right? So from the high to the low, we came up, we tested the 50% retracement, came back down to the 382 where we're finding support. So, support, purple line is VWAP, stack positive moving averages. The 8's on top of the 21, on top of the 34 EMA. We're above the 50 SMA. We're above the 50 or the 200 SMA as well on the 5-minute chart. A little cup and handle forming. I like Amazon long to at least the 618, maybe 3325 today, unless something happens. This looks bullish. However, Amazon has that history of selling off into Fridays, so just keep that in the back of your mind. Try not to get head faked. Make sure that if you enter something, right, that you've got a clean, clear trading plan, right? TTM squeeze has been in a squeeze for the last several sessions. If this fires, we'd like it to fire to the long side. RSI neutral. MACD on the 15's negative but increasing. So yeah, I'd like it. Look for resistance at 33.17. For me to trade Amazon, I would need a break above 33.20. 33.20 gets me above the 200 SMA, and I think we can go long from there. Currently, Amazon is just chilling in... Alright, so it's just chilling Inside the 4-hour Keltner channel, look for a move to the mid, which is at 33.20 level. A break above that, we've got overhead resistance of the previous high, 33.37, which is also the daily bottom, daily cloud bottom. So it may have a rough time at this area, right at the 33.34.27 level. But if it can get through that, maybe 33.50. Like I said, a lot of that depends on several factors. Get the slingshot squeeze to release, the market to continue to the upside, and lots of little things need to happen with Amazon. Okay, closed at 303. Yeah, 33.03. Okay, that was Amazon. I'm going to go ahead and jump through the rest of these pretty quickly. Okay, moving to the right-hand side, Melly. So this is, it looks ugly and choppy because it is. The Algo is trading with price action, and it's pointed down. So they're selling off. There's a gap that needs to be filled on Melly. Excuse me, about 1774. If it can continue to make these higher lows, right, it'll need to make another higher high. However, the algo is pointed down. On the 1 minute chart with Melly, I've never traded this stock, so I'm not super familiar with how it moves. I'm going to check out the 1 minute while that's loading. I'm going to throw my charts up over here. And this one. Wow, that's a gorgeous move. I don't know if they had earnings or something. This is what, oh, let's see if I can get it pulled over. It's going to show me. So when I talk about a slingshot squeeze releasing, look at this one from the 4th. So the squeeze was the squeeze histogram was negative but increasing, and as soon as it turned that corner and that squeeze released, went from red to white, right? Look at that massive explosive move. Those are what I'm trying to catch, dude. I love these squeeze releases. Okay. So I don't know enough about Melly to be like, oh, they had great earnings, or oh, but what I can tell you is this is a parabolic move setting up. Whenever anything shoots up, consolidates, shoots up, consolidates, usually we're looking for another extension. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. If it continues to do what it did, it's at positive 3 ATR, which is really far from the mean. So let's see. Keep an eye on it. All right, let me see what else is going on. Negative stacked EMAs were below the 50. This whole time that it was running, it was above the 50 SMA on the 15 minute, right? If it can get back above, for me to play it, 18.615 to go long. However, it's currently running into resistance of the 21 and the 34 EMA with the VWAP above it, rising 200. If this squeeze can release again like it did, you might get another explosive move. However, it's banging its head right now. With the algo selling off, I'd be more inclined to look at playing the retracement of this. So the retracement from this high to this current low. Right, it bounced off the 618. Look at that clean bounce off the 618. However, the stocks do like to come back down and test the 382, which would make sense. So it could sell off to the 200 SMA support, as well as the 382 right at 18,000, or excuse me, 1800. But if it does hit this 382 at 1797 or the rising 200, that's where I would look for maybe a reversal back up to the upside. Okay, it seems to respect the 200. Kind of. Let's see, it hit it here and rejected, fell through it, rejected off the bottom of it, broke through it, pull back, pull back. So that's Melly. All right, so Melly. On the daily, it looks like yesterday was a pullback day, maybe for a continuation to the upside, double green, right, over here. So the index and the stock and the sector that it's in is positive and increasing. MACD, RSI, and stochastics positive and increasing. Yes, it did have good earnings, so it was an earnings blowout. So this could be a peg stock, right, a post-earnings gapper. So up, down, up, it brought itself back inside the 4-hour cloud, but it looks like it's trying to break out of it. Yeah, so if it can get up above the 4-hour cloud at 18.6 or 1860, it may go long. It's just so... Let me see if I can get a better view of this. Yeah. When you see these 4-hour clouds vertical like that, it's pretty significant. Regardless, we have support of the weekly cloud top at 1783 and the daily at 1772. So 1787, right? That's at 200. So it's got a lot of support in this area here. Lots of support here. So if it does pull back, it'll rip off of there, hopefully, but lots of stuff's starting to turn around. Keep an eye on it. It does have a decision to make. The algo, however, is net selling, so that maybe that pullback to support that's needed for the next move up, right? 1775 is that gap that needs to fill. So, all right, that was Melly, LSPD. I'm gonna come back to LSPD because I need to get another one in real quick. So that was Apple and then SPG. Okay, so Apple, oh man, what can you say about Apple? Apple's being Apple. The algo is trading with price action. We've got, this is a good example of being able to use some block trades for resistance and support, okay? So we've got a regular and a dark pool that came in at 148.50. That is our current support. So we've got a regular and a dark pool block trade that came in at that area. I'd like it to break down and come back down because I've got some iron flies that are suffering right now. But you can't. What can you do? What can you do? Let me just continue with my white lines here. All right, so 146.58 is the next level of support. Below that, we've got a dark pool level at 145.63, right? This is all in the last 6 days. Then we got a little cluster from around the 146 area. However, look, so the algo is trading with price action currently. The algo is kind of curled down a little bit. It looks like it ran into a little bit of overhead resistance. Prior to that, excuse me. Prior to that, the algo was net selling. Something happened on the 10th. News, pop and drop, pop. We're looking for another drop. Yeah, I'd keep an eye on this area here. All right, a break below 180, or excuse me, 148.50, and then we come back down and test some of these previous highs. So that's Apple. Just real quick, looking at the 1-minute chart. Yeah, that's that area there. See how it's trading with price action. The algo is pointing down. I'm going to keep an eye on this level. So if it breaks down below previous highs, right, that 148.50, if it breaks below that, then I think that we can come back down and test 146.56. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Come on. All right. Promised you some fib levels. Hold on, let me just grab a screenshot of this. So Apple, just keep an eye at that 148.50 level. I think we may try to come back and back test that for a longer move to the upside. Here is some levels from Fibonacci standpoint. The Dow Jones has got about another 50 cents, 355.64, excuse me, before it hits the 1272. The Russell hit the 0.78 retracement. I'm looking for it to come back up and test 2245. ES is at the 786 retracement. That's a decision level for it. If it can get above that, next level is 4460 on the ES. That's just bananas. The NQ, it's got problems. Overhead, it's got pressure. It's currently below the I think it's a 50 moving average, 50 SMA. It's banging its head, but it's also being squeezed by the rising 200. So it's either going to pop out to the upside or possibly come back down and test the support again. Yeah, so it's really decision. This is be the first reversal, because before that it was making lower lows or lower highs and lower lows. All right, oil. So it came off of support, hit resistance, right? Came back down. Looks like it's basing. So this is a nice nice 1, 2, 3 pattern, right? This could be a nice reverse here for a longer move in crude. Gold, it's got overhead resistance, right? If it can get above 1765, then it's got about a $10 move from that. Amazon, we were just talking about earlier, it's got overhead resistance right here at this 33.16. Above that, 33.23. So it's going to take a lot to get it to shove through these areas. It's going to take a lot to get it to shove through these areas of Fibonacci resistance. Tesla, same deal. Tons of overhead resistance, right? But if it gets above 750, gap to 775. All right. That's the fib level. We did Apple. All right, Apple's kind of just consolidating. Seeing what it did overnight. Looks like it's respecting the 34 EMA on the 15-minute chart. Nice bull flag forming, right, on Apple on the daily. It's stuck in a Darvis box. Darvis low at 141, Darvis high at 150. It's tried, this will be the third attempt at 150. Triple top. Yeah, triple top on an Apple. Mixed bag for MACD. Bounced off the 4-hour Keltner channel top. It's got a lot of positives going for it. Yeah, Apple looks good as long as it can maintain 148.50, right? If it starts breaking down from 148.50, I think it's got to come back down and test 146.50 or 146.75. I think it's got to come back down and test that. All right. Same story over here. All right. Massive just channel that it's in. This giant doji. Yeah. So I actually like Apple to the downside if it can break below some of this. Then 146.70 is at 200. So I would prefer Apple to drop a little bit. That's just me though. All right, Apple, McDonald's. Moving on to McDonald's over here on the right. All right, I got about 15 minutes. So it looks like you guys want to see a good example of divergence playing out? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Let me just see if I can show you. So this is the divergence. Oh, come on. So when I talk about divergence, oh, seriously? My chart's too zoomed in. All right, I'll just point it out. Divergence started there, right? Where price action's moving in one direction, where the algo's moving in another direction. That divergence has to play out. So what happened? Right, price action came back down to where it diverged from. The algo will make price, divergence has to play out. So when that happened, what happened here? We had another divergence where price action started running away from the algo. This time the algo started to come to meet it again. However, look at this divergence played out again here. This is a good example of divergence playing out. Okay, so currently price action is trading with the algorithm And it's kind of consolidating on a nice, it's kind of consolidating a little bit. And the algo is essentially flat, which means that they're... Alright, the algo refused to make higher highs, but it is making higher lows. Alright, price action is making higher lows and higher highs, so it's kind of, well, let's see. There's a higher low, and I guess this is a higher high. It's tough. It could be considered bullish divergence, but to me it's just flat. It's just kind of flat. Apple just broke through. Oh, you suck, Apple. Alright, McDonald's. McDonald's. See how price likes to just hug this 21 EMA, which is the mean. Alright, so McDonald's on the daily. Looks like it's just trying to revert back to either VWAP highest volume at 239 or potentially point of control at 238. Right? It's going to use point of control at 235 as support. Right, so we've got... Alright, demand zone. A little supply zone. Alright, supply zone at 240, demand zone at 233. Alright, so McDonald's, McDonald's, this is what's going on. Alright, so stack positive moving averages. Right, they're all lined up. Looks like we just had a squeeze release from the histogram. MACDs are positive. Intraday MACDs from the 4-hour to the 5-minute are positive and increasing. Primaries, right, the dailies, the weeklies are negative and decreasing. So look for a small move. I would anticipate McDonald's moving up into the supply zone at 239 to 240 before it runs into any resistance. McDonald's was pretty easy. Right? Through the 4-hour mid, 4-hour top at 237. Right? If it can get above that and back test 237.75-ish, which would be the weekly mid, Keltner channel that is. Right? If it can break into the weekly Keltner channel mid above that, the dailies up here at 244. Right? So if it can get through this pretty significant resistance, for me, I'll play McDonald's on a break and retest of 238 for a move to 244. Okay. This second divergence for MACD or McDonald's. Not yet. I mean, let's see. This divergence is played out. This divergence is played out. This divergence is played out. And we've got a longer term divergence here. I would consider it played out. So we've got 1, 2, we're into our third divergence. Let me just highlight that with a different color. All right. It's got a bunch of little micro divergences. It's not as clearly defined as Amazon, but there is divergence. That algo is kind of curled up to the upside. Ooh, look at that. That's nasty. Don't know what happened there, but looks like at the end of the day there's a massive sell-off. Pretty significant sell-off at the end of the day. Let's see if that shows up on the charts. Okay, well. Keep an eye on it at the open. That might have just been an algo flush, right? Yeah, we'll see how it moves. It doesn't move enough for me. I mean, It looks good. So it looks like that flush that you saw was a block trade that came through at the end of the day. Right? It came through after hours, like 10 minutes after hours. 5 minutes after at 236.80. Probably profit taking. So maybe a pullback, 236.50 before a move up. All right, MACD. All right, SPG. I'm not sure what SPG is. What is SPG? Oh, Simon Property Group. Ah, yes. Real estate. Chop. Chop, 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 chop. Wow. I haven't seen a RSI do that in a long time. Alright. So SPG, the algo is trading with price action. There's no clearly defined divergences. Overall net buying, right? So the trend is right. The trend is up. The algo appears to be respecting its own channel that it's created. Is this a megaphone? Looks like it's trying to create a megaphone, which would indicate higher lows and higher highs. Possible cup and handle forming. Nope. This thing's choppy. So, does anybody spot the first thing I see? Let me know if you see it. Give you a couple more seconds. All right. What we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is... Ready? We got a Wu-Tang reversal. There's one. Right? What else do we got here? I feel like there's another one. I'm just missing it. All right. I feel like there's a pattern in here that it's a little convoluted, but it could possibly be... Or... Yeah. Anyway, I had to show you the Wu-Tang. Yeah, it's in one, but it rejected. So I don't know. This thing's just choppy. Looks highly manipulated. Okay, so what I can tell you is this: is that it's currently at resistance of the daily cloud. Right, the 4-hour mid is support. We've got the weekly cloud top, and are we in the... All right, so we're in the monthly cloud, which would explain the chop back and forth. So we've got a rising 4-hour mid that we're at. However, this 4 hour is curled in, so maybe a move back down to this demand zone at 131. If we can maintain support, we're really just going to chop back maybe highs of 136.21. I probably wouldn't touch this until... It's just, I don't... All I can tell you is the Algo is trading with price action. It's moving in an upward direction. You've got support at, 132. Right, break down below that. We got to come back down and test the daily mid and the monthly cloud bottom at 128.25. If we can get above 136.28, which is all we know, which is lifetime high, then we can move to the upside. I don't know how this thing moves, but it's just gonna be choppy for me. Sorry. Yeah. I'm in long-term buy and hold maybe, but there's not something I could play intraday for sure. All right, PLTR, and then I'm gonna check the chat for any potential request setups. Actually, I'm gonna do PLTR and then I gotta run. Got to run. PLTR. Look at that. So they had earnings, right? Blasted through earnings. The Algo's making a 1, 2, 3 reversal. It looks like it's trying to make an Elliott wave reversal pattern here. Yeah, tons of block trade resistance all over the place. These, a bunch of them came in yesterday. The most recent one, 25.50, 24.40. There's your support and resistance, right? Break below that, we come back down and fill this gap down to 23. The algo is curled up. I don't like this little dirly doop. I'm going to call it, I just made up a new word, dirly doop. Little dirly doop. It ran into this this regular block trade level. The algo's got to get through that 24.40 level for continued move to the upside. It may just chop back and forth. PLTR. I went over it the other day. I said if you're going to get it, get September expiration. Has less IV. Yeah, it's so negative MACD, positive. So on the daily, positive and increasing. Currently trading at positive 2, maybe 3 ATR. Stocks don't like being at that level. It wants to come back to the mean. It's got a brand newly formed 200 SMA that is above the 50 SMA. So it may pull back to VWAP, highest volume at 2381, which is at 200 SMA, which is also probably a good retracement from this run that it went on yesterday. Right? 382 retracement, so 2350. So it's got a right. It's kind of forming this little bull flag, right? So it is in an uptrend on the daily. Like for it to be healthy, it needs to pull back, and then it can continue its run up. This is pretty extended. Yeah. So I'm anticipating a pullback. 23.35, potentially 23.92, or even 23.50. So if it breaks below 23.50, then it's got a lot of room to the downside. So that would be it pulling all the way back to POC at 22.15. So, all right, that's it for me. Thanks for joining me. Yes, wish took a nosedive. I bought some share. I tried to catch the bounce yesterday. Yep, I'm down about $50. We'll see what happens at the open. It may get a nice rally. All right, that's it for me. Thanks for joining me. Once again, my name is Dark Pool Algo. I'm here every morning, Monday through Friday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you have requests, hit me up on Twitter at Dark Pool Algo. You can get a link for FlowTrade in the description. Go check it out and get a week free trial and join us in there. You learn a lot. And I will be online this weekend. I think I'm going to do some training for the group on just a variety of things. And then every week I put out a weekly watch list. If you haven't signed up for that, it's completely free. Visit darkpoolcharts.com, sign up for the weekly watch list, get a deep dive on about 5 or 6 stocks with a weekly video review, as well as a market overview for SPY. We go pretty deep into it. I'll do a recap video at the end of today for how our plays did. I think we did pretty good, with the exception of like Posh or maybe Lemonade, but we had some good picks in there for this week. Okay, thanks for joining me. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Everybody stay safe, stay green, and